How do you know that you are successful? How do you decide that how you know you're successful is the marker of success? Where do we get our definitions of what it means to be successful from? And why do we perceive or ascribe success to whatever we decide it is? Let's talk about that. Today is International Women's Day, and I attended an event and we had a workshop called I Am Remarkable. I used to be an I Am Remarkable facilitator before I moved abroad and my life turned upside down and I didn't have time to do anything else. And part of the exercise is for you to write multiple statements that begin with I am remarkable because. And it's very interesting the kinds of things that we think about or say immediately. Most of the time, we immediately grab for like work things we've achieved at work or in school or in a quote unquote professional context. And I wonder why that is, because sometimes we really have to dig deep into our brains to pull out like personal things or things that are not related to like the corporate ladder or capitalism or whatever. And today somebody said something that struck me very interestingly, and she said, I am remarkable because I am human, or because I'm alive, or because I'm a person. I can't remember the exact words, but it was basically the idea of being remarkable because you are, just because you exist. And it's something that I touched on a bit in the episode yesterday about my love-hate relationship with International Women's Day. Because it's like every time we're always talking about the amazing women who are doing this and who are doing that and who are building skyscrapers and rockets and creating things that have never existed before. But what about the women who are not? Like, they also deserve all the nice things and equal rights and all of those things, even if they are not climbing spaceships and launching rockets. I mean, which brings me back to the question of what is success and how do you define success? Because when you're in school, it's very easy, like the traditional markers of what is successful when you're in high school, in uni, it's very clear. If you score 70% on a course or you score 90%, if you're first in the class or you're 20th in the class, if you're the best students, valedictorian, salutarian or not, whatever, the markers are very clear and it's constrained to the particular context that you're in. And so it's easy to like have a target, like if that's what you care for. Like some people don't care about that. Some people care about being the best sports or sports person or athletes in the school. Whatever, there's a measure, right? If you run a race, the person who gets to the end first is the best one, at least in that particular race. And that's why there are world records and all of those things. Like there's a clear metric of success. There's a number that you need to hit or a thing that you need to do. But then when you finish school or when you're not in these very specific areas where there's a number that you have to hit, it can be different. It can be difficult to say like what is success. Is it like if I ace my performance review and I have exceeds expectations, or is it if I get a X whatever percent amount of raise, or is it if I get a promotion? And if you're a business owner, what does it look like? Does it mean is success when you have reached X number of clients or received whatever amount in revenue annually, in annual recurring revenue, or is it something else entirely? But there's a limit. Like, you can't have like everybody in the world cannot be a customer of your product. There's a limit to there's an upper limit on whatever number that you're trying to hit. And even when you hit that number, then you may feel like not successful anymore. It's like, oh, maybe I'm not reaching high enough. I need to do more. I need to try harder. I need to have more stretching goals or whatever. When you're outside of school or any of these contexts that I already talked about, sometimes people tend to look at subjective societal signals of success, which could be if you're a career person, it's like, are you getting promotions? What salary do you earn? What is your job title? Is the company that you work at, is it like a star company that everyone wants to put in their bio or their CV? Um, if you're an entrepreneur, how much has your startup raised? How many employees have you hired? Have you broken the Guinness World Record or something? But those things are all vanity metrics at the end of the day. And it's this obsession that we have with putting a number to everything to define its value. And it doesn't still really answer the question at the end of the day of what success looks like. And so I think that in the end, success is not determined by whatever societal markers are currently the rave. There was a point in time where if you didn't make the Forbes list, you haven't done anything. But now recently there have been so much drama and scandals associated with people who were on the Forbes list recently that it's like people don't even want to be associated with that anymore. So like if you're constantly allowing society and other people define what is success for you, then you will never meet success. Like you will never be successful because the goalpost is always shifting. And it's not even a goalpost that you are choosing to shift. It's other people that are moving the goalpost for you. I think that success is something that we have to individually define for ourselves. For me, success currently at this point in my life looks like me being able to converse in Dutch without thinking so much. Once I can do that, I will feel successful in that particular area. Success can be different depending on what you're looking at. I don't think that there can be just this one thing that defines whether you are successful or whether you feel successful or not, because then that is too much pressure to put on one part of your identity to speak for the whole of you, because the things that we mostly measure success on is usually just one part of who we are. So in the examples I've given, work, for example, that's just one part of your life. That can be the foundation of how you then define whether you as a person are successful. Well, you can do that if you want, but like I personally wouldn't and do not recommend. So I think that success should be something that we define for ourselves individually based on our current desires and the current context of our lives, because the desires that we have may change over time. The context of our lives will definitely change over time, right? So we can't then bind ourselves to a definition of success that we made 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and now you're an entirely different person, and those things that matter to that person don't matter to you anymore. And yes, external validation is nice. It's nice to make a list of 10 most impactful women of your generation or whatever. It's nice, but it can't be the only thing that defines your success or your sense of accomplishment. That can be it. If that is it, then I don't know. I don't know what we're doing, to be honest. But yeah, there's no, like, I don't have the answer. I'm just asking us, you, me, to think about the thing that you consider to be your marker of success right now. Like, whatever it is that makes you, that you think that when I have this, I will be successful, or if I achieve that, I am successful. Who decided on that thing for you? Did you decide yourself, or is it something that you picked up from other people telling you that this is what it means to be successful? And if it's something that you picked for yourself, when was it? When did you pick that marker for yourself? And is it something that is still important to you now? Is it still relevant to your life as it is now? Bye. A quick reminder that I am accepting questions for the podcast. If you have any questions that you'd like me to cover, any things that you'd like me to talk about, please fill the form. I'm going to put the question form in the show notes. So yeah, bye. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of A Couple of Things. If you enjoyed this episode or found any part of it insightful, don't forget to share with your friends on your social media, and be sure to leave a comment or a review if you can on your podcast listening app. Thank you.